This is Dynasty Sports coming to you from Broken Arrow High School, kind of following with the path and the ideology of what we're trying to achieve here. Our first guest is going to be Coach Rodney Jones, and let me kind of introduce him. He's a three-time state placer, 1994 state champion at Powerhouse Tulsa Webster High School, coached by the legend Rodney Jones. He goes on to the University of Oklahoma after being recruited by Pittsburgh and North Carolina, decides to go to the University of Oklahoma, and at Oklahoma University, he was a three-time All-American, 97, 98, and in 1999, he was the NCAA runner-up. He coached the University of Oklahoma Sooners from 99 to 2004, and from 2004 to 5, he was an assistant Mustang. Fortunate enough to get him here at Broken Arrow with myself from 2005 to 2019. Coach Rod was a part of 9 state championships, and then he took over in 2019, and he's won 2 himself and been in the hunt every season. Let me introduce Coach Rod Jones. Crowd's going crazy.
Yeah,
behind
thanks for the.
Man, it's really nice seeing you again.
It's a really nice introduction. Thank you.
How long has it been since I've seen you?
Seems like it's been less than 24 hours.
I think it's
but
less.
It's been a long time.
I think it's less than 24 hours. We got to spend a little Christmas with each other. Well, right off the bat, tell us, how's the season going?
Broken Arrow Wrestling season at this point is going well. You know how it goes. About the time in wrestling that you kind of get going and you start gaining momentum, guys start making weight consistently, and guys start competing consistently, and you start to see from one week to the next week some improvement. We have to take a break during the Christmas break. So
somebody once told me that you can't have wrestling without rest in the middle of it, Coach.
Absolutely, you can't spell wrestling without
That's
rest.
right.
That's
That's
absolutely true. But so that's where we're at right now. We went to Ohio. We always go to Ohio. We've been going to Ohio.
You just didn't go to Ohio. That was your, first event.
Yeah, the schedule is a little bit different this year. Usually we go to the Gardner-Edgerton, Kansas tournament right out of the gates, and that's always a great competition with the likes of Southeast Polk, Iowa, and Allen, Texas. And everybody gets 5 matches regardless of how you do. And then, then the following week we usually go to Ohio, but this year because of the calendar year was a little bit odd. We had a duel with Ponca City on Tuesday night. We loaded up on a plane Wednesday morning and took 14 wrestlers to arguably the most competitive folk-style high school tournament of the year, which happens at the beginning of the year, which is kind of odd in of itself. But we did well. Guys competed hard. The competition there is off the charts. Jake Miller placed in the top 8, made it on the podium, which is a huge accomplishment.
It's always tough.
And then we come back from there, and we wrestled Stillwater High School, who's a top 5 nationally ranked team.
Yes.
And then loaded up a group and went to the KC Stampede for the first time this year. We've never went to that before, and turned out to be.
Say it was the largest wrestling tournament you've ever been to.
Oh, it's got to be one of the largest. So 24 mats, boys and girls divisions, 2 days. You don't get beat out of the tournament. That's another aspect to it. Is
how many matches everybody
you could
get?
wrestle. You could go 2-2 on the first day and come back the next day and wrestle another 4 or 5 matches if you continue to win. So I think we've had guys that got a total of 9 matches. We had a lot of guys that got 8 matches. Had a lot of guys that get 7. Well, this time of year, I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
And you can see some guys that are coming off, let's say some guys coming off the football field, are football players. I mean, you can visibly see them get better from match 1 to match 8 in the tournament,
Sure,
which
absolutely.
is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Once again, we had 2 champions. Jake Miller was a champion. Gunnar Wilson was the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
A number of other guys that placed, and more than anything, the most important thing is they all got mat time, and
9 matches.
I'm seeing improvement, and that's exciting. But now we have to take a couple weeks off and enjoy the Christmas break, practice, and then we'll come out of the Christmas break in January 2025 with a really, really busy January.
And January, in my opinion, is the prep month. It's the month that set you up for success in February, because you get to February and all you've got are the championships. You got dual states, you got regionals, you got state championships, and kind of the purpose of this. And we all know that you do this, I did this, our dad, our brother did it, all the coaches in the state do it, because we look to the end of February. I guess this year it's going to be the 1st of March, and the culmination is all the hard work trying to win a state championship. And my deal with this Dynasty Sports is the fact that I want to show everybody. Everybody sees the result on a Tuesday, Thursday, or a tournament night. They don't know what the A to Z is, and the A to Z is what has always interested me. And I'm going to take this and I'm gonna blow it up with football coaches and soccer coaches. But we know what you've got left in the season. January is tough. You got championship February. But here's what's interesting to me. Then you start all over. It doesn't matter if you win a state championship. It doesn't matter if you're the national, the best in the nation. It doesn't. About 5 days of slapping you on the back saying great job ends, and the cycle starts over again. And that's what I'm here for, is springtime. Wrestling's over. Where's your focus? How are you going to get better?
Well, yeah, absolutely. 24/7, 365 days of the year. There's actually, days of the year that overlap, because there's, towards the end of the season, you're doing everything you can to get your guys ready for the championship portion of the season. But you're also, at that time, you begin planning for what are things going to look like next season? What's your lineup going to look like next season? Because obviously you got your seniors who won't be returning, but everybody else, you kind of, as it kind of unfolds, you kind of start looking down the road and you start planning for the future. And the planning and the preparation and the training is never ending.
Your future looks pretty good, though. You don't lose anybody.
No, I mean, it's Broken Arrow High School, and it's Broken Arrow Wrestling, and we always have a good mix of upperclassmen. We always have a good mix of juniors and sophomores. We've got a couple freshmen in the lineup right now that are competing for us.
What do you got? How many seniors on your team right now?
Seniors, I think we're sitting about 4 seniors right now in a 14-man lineup, and then that kind of evens out, and that's kind of how we do it. We're never extremely senior heavy. And so we always graduate a good group, but we always have a good group that comes in behind them. And obviously that has contributed to our consistency of being pretty successful around here. And it's always a challenge. So as soon as the season ends, like you said, you do take, seems like a couple of days off. We probably take a couple of days off, and then we're in the weight room, which we spend a lot of time in the weight room, and we're trying to spend more time in the weight room in the spring. And then
You're doing a lot better job in that.
Obviously,
a lot better job.
Well, now being in this new facility that we're sitting in, and being connected to the indoor football facility with two stories, 2 levels of a weight room, it makes it a whole lot easier for us to go from our new wrestling facility to the weight room, and you don't kill a lot of time. You're there, you're over there, and then you're back in the room, and it seems like it works out a whole lot easier for us. But yeah, we get into the spring. Obviously, spring break rolls around. Geez, if you look at what we had going on last year during spring break, we had a group of Georgian wrestlers, not from the state of Georgia.
I came out here. I came out here
from the country of Georgia.
Country of Georgia.
Came through here over spring break and trained for about 5 days, and we had all of our guys here, and we had gave them the ability to train with some wrestlers from Georgia, which was an extremely awesome opportunity for them. But we come out of spring break, now we're going Monday, Tuesday, Thursday nights, freestyle Greco.
J4.
And the freestyle Greco portion of it kicks off. And there's basically a competition every weekend.
There was a point in time, me and Rod were here together, and man, my babies were off playing, their thing, doing their soccer thing, and I was missing it. And I handed the reins to Coach Rod, and Coach Rod created J4 Freestyle Club, and it's just soared ever since then. He's got kids coming from all over the place, plus his 1,000 kids he has here. It's and the new facility with the new rooms and are going to be extremely beneficial when it comes to housing and getting kids ready to go to the next level. And the freestyle season starts, Coach, in the spring. You guys lift during the day. You've got these guys coming back at night, 3 days a week. How many tournaments you going to?
Oh, we probably attend 4 to 5 tournaments, not counting the Fargo qualifier tournament, and that's not counting the freestyle Greco state tournament. So you're looking at 6 to 7
Topeka, correct?
and then then we're in the season at the Southern Plains Regionals that's
right.
been happening in Mulvane,
Okay.
Kansas. There, the Kansas Star Casino Event Center there, off of I-35, has kind of been the culmination of what we do. Now, then we have a bunch of guys that continue to train, and they'll compete on age level duels. You got junior duels, you got 16U duels, schoolboy duels, which is going to be a change this year because that event, the national duels, has been held in Tulsa
That's right.
for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
But now it's moving to Wisconsin.
Woo.
So that's going to change it up a little bit. But then you got Fargo at the end of July, which a lot of guys, they look forward to that competition.
And a lot of people don't understand, but you do these freestyle competitions during the springtime, and USA Oklahoma is in good hands right now. Zach, I believe, is doing a fantastic job.
Zach Randall.
Zach Randall's doing a fantastic job with that. And he spoke of the qualifier. At that qualifier you go to and you finish top 3, you get an invite to be on Team Oklahoma and go represent Team Oklahoma. And I think it also includes maybe the duels. With that group of guys, they'll create 1 to 2 different duels dual teams, and everybody that signs up and goes to Fargo. And the benefit of Fargo is you're getting to wrestle again, Ironman type.
This competition, high-level competition, elite competition. We believe in as much elite competition as possible. And then exposure. I know that there's a ton of being on the college coaching side of it and now being on the high school side of it, that college coaches want to see those kids that are committed basically year-round nowadays. And if you're going to that tournament, like I said, at the end of the summer, late July, and you're competing and looking to get on the podium at that tournament and winning matches at that tournament, then it makes a statement, and college coaches are paying attention.
Yeah, that to me, Ironman is the toughest high school wrestling tournament in the nation. I mean, you could argue with me. We can't do these episodes without our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by CNC Tile and Carpet, Tulsa's flooring experts for over 60 years. From timeless hardwoods to plush carpets, they've got the perfect flooring to handle pets, kids, and everything life throws your way. Visit them on 13th and Harvard or online at cctileandcarpet.com. You can also give them a call at 918-744-5511.
The Ironman has changed, and I don't necessarily think that they really care about whether or not you bring a full team anymore.
No.
They're allowing individuals
They're inviting
from all over the country to enter, even if you just bring one kid, and it's a high-level kid, a nationally ranked kid, then he can get in the tournament. I mean, if you look at the results and look at the number of teams there, you're looking at only 4 or 5 teams that brought a full lineup, and Broken Arrow is obviously one of those teams that always brings a full lineup. And you look around and you pay attention. I don't know how other schools do it when it comes time, because we fundraise and we have a community and we have support and we do it like nobody else does it. But when it comes to taking a team to that Ohio tournament, I don't know how you go about excluding wrestlers on the team, which you see happening other places, other teams. They'll take 5 or 6 guys. And I
think that's a value, though, that, of course, we share because we're trying to develop a team. A program that's going to go compete for championships.
Absolutely.
End of February, 1st of March.
For sure. So that's always kind of been an interesting way of doing things. And obviously we don't do things like that. We take a full team. We always take a full roster. And even if kids don't wrestle too deep into the tournament, I believe, and we believed, and we've always believed, just being in that environment and seeing that level of competition is beneficial for them.
Okay, so we kind of got there. We've got to the Fargo. But there's also a large group of kids that do not get to go participate in Fargo. And just kind of, now we have the high school graduation. You've pretty much got dual teams. You've got Fargo lineups. You've got everything. You know who's going. But what do you do with the guys that maybe weren't so necessarily interested in going to Fargo? Because that is a great commitment. That is a summertime, all summertime commitment. And there's some guys that didn't qualify, and there's some guys that just they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and
sure.
so graduation happens, summer starts. You've got your people that are going to Fargo. You've already got that realization. What do you do with your extra kids that are here? Because I know you work them.
We have a schedule. We have a summer training schedule through the spring. Like you mentioned, the spring. Even when we're in school, we'll lift. You know, whatever our training schedule is, as far as lifting 3 days a week or 4 days a week. But then we even have in school, while school's still going on, during that 6th hour, we still have wrestling practices, and then we bring them back in the evenings to train in the evenings for the freestyle and Greco season. But as the school year comes to an end, we have a whole different schedule that we follow. We probably meet, last year it seems like we were 3 days a week. We'll get together, we'll have a lift, and then we'll go in the room for 30, 45 minutes of structured instruction, not a free-for-all, not come in there and do whatever you want. Obviously, our mentality has always been, if we're here, we're going to work. We're not going to, play.
Not gonna waste time.
We're not going to, play around and jack around and do things that are not productive. We'll have a curriculum. We'll have something that we're trying to teach. We'll have those guys that are still going to compete later in July. Then their focus will be on freestyle tactics and strategies, which there's differences between folk style and freestyle, and I think most people, familiar with wrestling understand that. But those guys are still kind of got to keep locking their hands on top. They still got to keep doing ankle laces
Right.
and leg laces.
He's talking about let's just say, really doesn't allow you to bring in kids during the summertime and have a collegiate, a folk style practice. So the two are very similar, especially when you're on your feet. But it does change a lot when you go top bottom, and so you've got to kind of watch that line. And he's talking about still locking your hands on top and so forth.
There's differences, and obviously it's freestyle Greco oriented in the summer, and we pay attention to those things. Trying to get those guys that, for one, to go to Fargo, you have to divvy up and basically pay for your way to go if you qualify.
What is the average? What is the average now?
It's getting close to a ballpark $1,000.
Oh,
Okay. And we want to make sure that those guys are ready to go because of the level of commitment that they're showing. And so a lot of our summer depends on that. And when that is over with, we still have a pretty good, because that gets us into August, and school starts earlier nowadays than it's ever started in August. And we try to maintain a strength and conditioning program throughout the summer, and we roll right into that once school starts back up.
Yeah, that's nice. And so, there's two elements. We're in season now, and of course, the prize is winning the state championship, 1st of March this year. And then you go into your graduation happens. We got through the summer. It's September again, Coach. You've been here all summer. You guys have worked all summer, as I suppose a lot of programs around the state have done. What's the first of school look like? What are your numbers right now? I know you don't have very many football players, so you're getting the majority of your kids first day of school.
Yes, sir.
So what are your numbers looking like now? And first day of school forward, what do you do?
We're carrying right now, if you go off of the roster, there's 90 plus guys on the high school roster. 90 plus meaning freshmen through 12th grade. As freshmen through seniors, we have 90 guys on the roster that show up every day.
What's your junior high number?
Our middle school program, which is our 7th and 8th grade program, they're hovering around about 100 kids on their roster right now. And then if you go down, and we've also got a thriving girls program that is doing really well. I think her numbers are getting close to 40, 45, and that's 7 through 12. And then we got a youth program that is doing really well, and I think their registrations, which you can keep track on USA Wrestling, is getting close to 150 wrestlers. So if you had a calculator, you could add that up real fast: 100, 250, 350, close to 350, 400 student athletes in the Broken Arrow community that Broken Arrow Wrestling provides a service, an opportunity for. And it's one of the reasons that makes what we're doing here at Broken Arrow a special place.
Yeah, it's a special place. And you get wound up in the season, and you kind of get your prep in. maybe a couple fundraisers, maybe get into, and then October 1st is the first official date. It always for basketball and wrestling, winter sports, for you to get in the room and actually practice. And I know you don't take advantage of that October 1st because wrestling season's long and it's hard, and kind of October 1st to maybe the Broken Arrow Open.
Well, we like to say it's not a sprint, that's for sure. And even it doesn't take us long once we have our first day of school to get going implementing the program that we have in place.
They've been here all
because
summer.
they've been here all summer. They've been through it. They know what's going on. There's basically an orientation that takes place on the first day of school where you let everybody kind of introduce yourself if you need to introduce yourself, because once again, everybody has probably been around to a certain extent. And you're always looking at that second or third day. You're on task. You're doing something. You're in the weight room. You're doing some sort of conditioning, or we get going pretty quickly. There's nothing more that causes more anxiety than 100 kids sitting around doing nothing. You got to get them doing something.
Sure.
And obviously that October 1st and the world spins so fast nowadays and things go so fast, but October 1st comes around pretty quickly. And by that point of the year, we've kind of picked up our number of days in the room a little bit. We picked up the number of days that we're lifting, and so we kind of transitioned into October 1st, and October 1st gives us the opportunity to stay after school, because until October 1st, you can't stay after the school day.
That's right.
And so October 1st basically just kind of gives us a little bit more time to do a little bit more, but we're definitely not full speed ahead or full steam ahead on October 1st. But we do kind of add some time to what we're doing and maybe spend a little bit more time in the room. But there's still days that we don't even go in the room.
Sure.
Right? There'll be days that maybe we just go to the weight room. And we get closer to fall break. It's kind of always been that time. And then you're coming out of fall break and you're looking at a few weeks before the BA Open. And then, like we say to the guys, is wrestling season is officially started after fall break. And we're full time. Whatever amount of time it takes for us to get a workout in, that's how much time we're going to take. So we're on board.
Those 3 weeks leading up to the Broken Arrow Open were probably the longest 3 weeks I can remember, because you're in there and you're just throwing technique. I like to call it putting in your plays, putting in your plays and kind of getting ready, because once it does start, it snowballs.
Oh,
and
it's on, yeah.
there's a point there that you're not throwing that technique out there anymore. You're really starting to concentrate, go individually, kids in the room, trying to attain and get to that point in the season that you can maybe win a state championship. Right now, the Tigers are ranked number 3 in the state, and I believe is Stillwater 1 or Edmond North?
Stillwater, Edmond North, depending on whatever week. It seems like they're, we've had 3 weeks of rankings to this point, and it seems like they kind of flip-flop depending on whatever week it is. But they're both got real good teams right now.
Great programs, and the Tigers are sitting at a solid number 3. Got a great young group. And that's the thing about this sport, and all sports, and that's what we're going to talk about with everybody, because everybody's setup is different, and everybody, whether you're football or you're soccer and Coach Rod is in charge of, I want to say, the most powerful wrestling program in the state. I think, and I just saw something the other day on you guys' Broken Arrow Wrestling Facebook page, that for a decade, or what is it, since the 2000s, Broken Arrow has been selected as one of the top 50 high school wrestling programs in the nation.
There was something on TikTok. I don't know if that's what it was, top 15.
Maybe
it had us in the top 15.
Maybe it was the Tick Tick.
The Tick Tick, with a bunch of other different schools that you can name off. If you wanted to talk about high school powerhouses, it wouldn't be hard to talk about those. But just to be even mentioned in that group is obviously a testament to what's been going on here since you and I got here, before we got here with Coach Steve Dunlap and what they had created and developed.
Bill Harlow, Steve Dunlap, Steve Allen. Won him a couple state championships. I was fortunate enough to get the job in 2005. We got it back to where we liked it, and Coach Rod's taken over, and there's not been a drop in anything. They're as competitive and as tough nationally, in state. How can people join your J4?
Well, to join J4, we got a couple different ways, different things that you can be a part of. J4 is obviously you can go on the internet, and it's j4wrestling.com is the website for that. And then we also got our youth program, and kind of carries over into the spring is the BAWC, the Broken Arrow Wrestling Club,
Right.
which is bawrestlingclub.com. So I mean, I think any sort of nowadays Google search, if you're looking hard enough for any of these things, that you can find them pretty easy. And it's basically full service. If you want to be involved in wrestling, if you want to get to learn wrestling, to train wrestling, we have about every avenue and that you need to pursue a career in wrestling.
Can't do this without our sponsorships. This episode of Dynasty Sports brought to you by Core Homes, building, remodeling quality homes across Tulsa and all over Oklahoma for the past 10 years. From the ground up, we create sturdy, lasting homes for your family. Visit us at this website, corehomesok.com, or please give Jason a call at 918-694-0997. Well,
Absolutely.
high quality coaches led by, of course, Coach Rod. We've got our little 81-year-old dad down there
For sure.
still coaching. The legend.
He's in it.
The legend.
still going.
The legend is down there and he's coaching. And,
Teaches 4 hours of United States history every day. Shows up here. We got a group of football players that have came over, and it's the bigger football players. And obviously, at this stage in the game, our practices move at a certain pace,
Sure.
because kids have
Absolutely.
been in there for a while. So you get a new group of kids in there, and they're a little bit bigger than everybody else. And you look down in the far corner of the room, and you see a 285-pound football player getting on top of an 81-year-old man because he's down there teaching them the fundamentals and the basics of wrestling. It's pretty awesome, but I would admit, though, it worries me sometimes to see him underneath those big old guys. But
I don't know if Mom's going to watch this. She's going to get mad.
He has a little group down there, and well, what a greater experience you could ask for, just to have the opportunity for those guys to be in a wrestling room with a person that has as much experience and success that he has had. He's forgot about more wrestling than we'll ever know, and he's still here at 81 years pouring 100% passion and energy into these guys. And I worry about him sometimes because he still has that intensity, that fire.
He does.
And he can get fired up at these guys sometimes. And I just, I'm like, take it down, take it easy. But he doesn't know. If you put him in a wrestling room, he's going to be intense.
He is who he is, and he's always been. Well, Coach, you got anything else for us?
No, I'm excited about Dynasty Sports. I'm excited about the whole concept. I'm a podcast guy. I like podcasts, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. And I know that there's an area in the space for you with your knowledge and expertise and experience and relationships and all of those things to develop and to create something that other people might either find useful or just find it interesting.
And that's awful nice of Rod. It's probably the nicest thing Rod's ever said. But before we go, we've got to thank 3 sponsors. We got 3 great sponsors right off the bat. The first is CNC Tile. We're going to go in and we're going to edit and we're going to do some things and we're going to showcase CNC Tile, Yoakum Companies, and Core Homes. And that'll be in the broadcast, and I hope you watch it. Please, at the end of this, if you liked it, hit the subscribe button. We're going to have all our social media handles out there for you to look at. And Coach Rod, we appreciate you, man. You're a bad
this is
dude.
awesome.
This is we're going to walk around and tour your facilities and take some video and kind of try to implement it and splice it in there.
It's always a pleasure.
Hey, love you, brother.
Love you too.
Good luck. Good luck. Hey, this is Dynasty Sports. Dynasty Sports, and this is our first one. Pay attention. We're going to have more. Thank you. Welcome to the new Broken Arrow Field House. This is just built and opened up at the first of the school year this year. And as you can see, got got the permanent volleyball courts there, but also, you know, interesting to us wrestling people, they can put 8 full mats on this floor and take care of a lot of wrestling in a day. It's a beautiful facility, and I hope they're going to have some championships here and everybody's going to get an opportunity to come visit. All right, just kind of following up and walking through new wrestling facility here at Broken Arrow High School. This is the high school's room. 6 mats, 6 full mats of brand new Resilite wrestling. They sure can get a lot of stuff done here. I think he's capturing, what is that? That's 20 state championships in total for Broken Arrow Wrestling. It's been a program since '98, and it was way before that. Coach Bill Harlow had this, and they were in a good spot. And it's just continued to rock from now on. Coach Bill Harlow didn't have a room that looked like this, though. So it sounds like the junior high is wrestling, but the junior high has a room just like this, but it's 4 mats. And then you keep walking south here through these big doors, and you walk through the junior high room, and you walk into the girls' wrestling facility, which is also equal size to this high school room. I'd say BA Wrestling is doing fairly well at this point. Go BA! We can't do these episodes without our sponsorship, and this episode of Dynasty Sports brought to you by Yoakum Companies. Dusty and the boys over there are your local leaders in hauling dirt, sand, gravel, more, from excavation and dirt work to building pads, delivering topsoil, shell, aggregate. Yoakum Companies is going to get the job done right. Dusty Yoakum's Companies and is built on quality and driven by service. You can give them a call at 918-636-0913, and you can go visit them on yoakum.net.